Hi everyone, wherever in the world you are, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Now, did you know that today is World Teddy Bear Day? I bet you didn't know that, and I bet Peter didn't know that either, but he's coming on in a minute. Now, tea is incredible. It's great as a beverage. It's fabulous hot, brilliant iced. It's fantastic in food, fantastic paired with food, and it's fantastic in smoothies, in cocktails, in mocktails. 21 different ways that tea can excite. And the most important thing, it's natural, it's plant-based, it's vegan, and it's bursting with natural antioxidants. So today we're going to have a look at 21 different ways of how you can integrate tea into your food and beverage. And what an ingredient. With all of those credentials, it's fantastic. But we're not going to show you all 21 because Peter's only got time for a few, but he's got some amazing stuff coming up. So before that, we have a question for you. Question is a poll. I would like to, talking tea, have you ever tried our premium Ceylon? Reason we're asking you is we want to know what are your preferences. Is it tea, black tea, infusions, and whatever. And we're also showing you that because for all of those joining us from Australia, we have right now a collaboration with My Room Children's Cancer Charity, and they do amazing work. We are absolutely blessed to be able to partner with them. That's happening in Australia in stores with our Dilmah Premium 50s pack, and it's got the My Room logo on there. So watch out for that. So, okay, we have a few questions. Okay, you've tried it and you liked it. Thank you. That's beautiful. Thank you very much. And we use all of these results to make sure that we tailor the next content for exactly what you like. So now we have a suggestion, 21 different ways on how to enjoy tea. So you can pair it. That is, you can have tea paired with life, tea with music. Have you ever thought of that? Well, you know, it's like the deep, intense teas coming out with the deep, if you like classical. You love talking about Wagner, if you like hip hop. I don't know hip hop, so I'm not going to try an example, but you get what I mean. Tea is incredibly well paired with life, with different types of food and so on. So with this, we're going to ask you to answer another question. And so this time, the poll is what you would like to hear. I mean, how you take your fine Ceylon tea, and what's good about it? Is it because it's great, tastes great with milk? You are allowed to take tea with milk. I'll tell you why. Because the best tea for you is the tea that you like best. And you know, I take my tea straight. It's no additives. Ginger sometimes, fresh ginger, good for you. Boost the antioxidants in tea, fresh mint. But whatever you do, keep it natural. So milk, it's okay. You like tea with milk, that's the way you like it. And that's brilliant. Thank you. Thank you. So you like aroma and flavor. You like strength because you like tea with milk. Brilliant. Thank you so much. And you do also like green tea and some prefer infusions. Thank you for that. So now that brings me to the next, where we have a little introduction to my good friend. I can't say old friend, but I've known him a long time, Peter Kuruvita. Those of you who are joining from Sri Lanka, Australia, India, you know who Peter is. So I'm not going to tell you much, except to tell you he is a tea-inspired chef. He is Sri Lankan. He's on loan to you, Australia. And today he's going to show us some amazing things about tea and tea inspiration. Peter, good afternoon, good evening to you.
Good evening, Dilhan. How are you? Happy Teddy Bear Day.
Exactly. I've got my Paddington bear coming out. He's waiting for me when I get home. So I will be posting that. Peter, we're looking forward to seeing what you've got to show us. Floor's yours.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Good to see you or be in front of you. What a great way to celebrate tea, but also, you know what, to forget about all the stuff that's going on around us. I think it's really nice to have fun things to do. And I think a lot of people have been cooking at home. And so hopefully here I can inspire you to cook one dish, but also when you have that cup of tea, no matter how you have it, I have my tea in all different ways. Today it's straight, but with milk in the morning and any way you like, tea is good for you. So that's fantastic. But what I'm going to do today is show you one dish that's infused. To me, chocolate and premium tea goes so well together. So I thought our family has this incredible brownie recipe. My wife Karen makes it, and Taj, our youngest, who's now 15, had his birthday 2 days ago. He thinks it's the best brownie in the world. And you know what? It's so easy to make. So I gave it a twist of tea. And in this little pot here, I've got the butter for the recipe. Now, when you're cooking with tea, I've said this, and I'm sure that any of you have followed me or followed Dilmah, you've heard me say this before, but to brew for longer and stronger, because other than this cup of tea, which is absolutely perfect, took only 1 tea bag. This is taking 2 tablespoons or 6 tea bags. And for that, the reason for that is so that all the flavors go into it. Now, the other thing is when you're cooking with tea, the infusion of the tea can continue when you're cooking. So what I've done out of these 6 bags, which have been in here now for more than 5 minutes, which it says on your recipe, I've broken 2 of the tea bags open, and you can see, maybe, don't want to spill it, but there's actual pieces of tea in that. So then as the heat goes through it and everything else gets added to it and it bakes, that tea flavor and tea texture. Think about what tea texture means. Hopefully you're all drinking a cup of tea out there, but if you are, then the tea texture is that beautiful drying on your tongue. It's an amazing aroma and flavor. I always say to Dilhan, I haven't been to Sri Lanka for so long, but to smell that is like the smoke from the villages drifting over the beautiful emerald green tea fields. And, you know, all I have to do is have a little sip and I'm back home and I'm with Dilhan and everybody else there. Miss it so much. But anyway, back to the cooking. So look at this, 5 ingredients plus some butter and beautiful Dilmah Premium Tea. And it's the easiest recipe ever. 4 eggs, some flour, cocoa powder. Make sure you get good quality cocoa powder. And what I'm doing with this pairing or infusion is actually the chocolate. The chocolate and the tea go so well together. And then you can use caster sugar if you don't have coconut sugar, but I like using coconut sugar. It's got a good nutty flavor. And, you know, it's probably a bit better for you than refined sugar. You can even try it in your tea, but you know what? It'll probably add too much flavor to a beverage that doesn't need any more flavor. Anyway, put this in. Some baking powder to give it a bit of a boost. And then my tea infused butter. You could set this and use it in the morning, spread on your toast with some marmalade and get tea and toast all together. Anyway, I keep thinking of different things to do. I don't think I have run out of ideas, and I have done so many of these. So I say to people that the important thing with this tea infusion business is that you just have to let your imagination go. So now, I'm also being watched by the expert just on the corner here, so I'm not make any mistakes. But don't we love something that's simple as that? A cake tin, which I've already greased, and an oven, which you can see on behind me, which has been turned on to 170 degrees. I'll set a timer for 50 minutes, so you're not going to be able to see it. But as they say in all the cooking shows, I've got one that I've made earlier. And then we just put it in and bake it. And you'll find that when you eat it, the good thing, you know, sometimes kids go, there's tea in my brownies. My son is in the next room. He's not listening to this. And when he eats it, I will guarantee you that he has no idea there's tea in it. But the goodness of the tea, that beautiful flavor of the tea, and if you pair it with some black tea, it's going to be fantastic. Now, Taj, my youngest, only drinks Earl Grey. We call him the little Earl, and he just loves Earl Grey tea. Every morning, tea in bed. He gets bed tea, just like one of the beautiful resorts, tea trails. It's one of the things that I've always loved about that, and I miss so much being able to go there. And before you go to bed, they always ask you what bed tea you like. And when you wake up in the morning, there's a gentle knock on the door, and somebody turns up with a beautifully brewed pot of your choice of tea. And as you know, Dilmah's got plenty of them. So that's it. Look, simple. It's shiny, glossy, the butter, the tea, everything's gone into it. Into the oven, 50 minutes. Now, Dilhan touched on this charity, get it? And Dilmah are all about charity. They don't like to talk too much about it, so I love to talk about it. And every cup of tea that you drink, you're giving to somebody. But this time, there's a special charity. Dilmah Australia have worked with a charity called My Room. Now, I had a bit of a melanoma scare a few months ago. I'm okay, but it really made me think about and realize, you know, how hard and how devastating that kind of news can be to not only the person, but the family. So My Room is a wonderful children's charity. And while everyone in Australia, for the month of September, go and look in the supermarkets, in the two supermarkets, Coles and Woolworths, and you can find the teas with this little My Room on it. Buy that, and you will be donating 25 cents to the My Room charity. Now, it might not seem a lot, but this is Dilmah's biggest selling tea, and people in Australia and New Zealand and around the world have supported it so much. So don't worry, just drink your tea, and as you're drinking your tea, you can be warmed by the fact that you are also helping people. So I would like to show you a couple of other things I've done. I don't know which one to do first because they're all pretty good. Now, what I'll do first, though, just to show you the brewing of the tea and how the color comes out so quickly. One tea bag. As soon as the liquid pours onto it, you get that beautiful golden color. And that's going to be brewing 3.5 minutes. I suggest you get a timer. There's all types. I love this. This is my little Dilmah timer, but that timer sits on us, and every morning, every time someone makes a cup of tea, the timer goes off. Make sure that you agitate the tea, because when you do that, it brings out all the flavors. If you just leave the tea bag in the cup like that, what will happen is it'll just form a plume, and you won't have the water and the tea combined. So it's really important that you actually do that. While that's brewing, I'm going to show you the first dish. So pairing tea and food. To me, you know, I close my eyes and I think about waking up in the morning in our house in Colombo, in Mount Lavinia, and the spices. And one of the things which I'm going to show you last are the curries. And the curries were always enjoyed with a cup of tea, sometimes a little bit of palm sugar on the side, but generally black. And it just goes perfectly with spice. So this is like a chicken thigh or chicken breast fillet, which I'm eating because I want you to do the same. Because the only way to understand how tea or food and beverages and food and tea combine is to actually eat it and then wash it down. There's 2 minutes to go on this one, so I'll use this one. So there's galangal, lemongrass, chili, garlic, and the sweetness of the chicken. That combination, when you drink the tea, it just falls to the front of your mouth. It's absolutely delicious. And then on the last mouthful, you have another sip, your palate is cleansed, and you're ready for the next one. My next one, gyoza. So let's go to Japan. Now, these little beauties, I've got some, I don't know whether anyone knows, has anyone seen saw leaf lettuce, coriander? Karen nearly pulled it out of the garden a few days ago. I have this magnificent plant in the garden. It looks a bit spiky, but it has an amazing flavor. Now, I know coriander and Japanese food don't go together, but the gyoza and a soy is just beautiful. The acid from the vinegar and the soy, as well as the sweetness from the pastry, again, this time, what's come out is the pastry. And so every time you pair something, it'll be different. And until you do that, An experiment, you never know. We've done dinners with Dilmah in countries that don't drink wine, and we've used tea. Premium tea is the Shiraz of wine, I guess, of tea. And so when you think about what you'd eat and drink with Shiraz, then you can pair food with it as well. So do you pair a blini with smoked salmon with Shiraz? No. But if you put some garlic aioli on it with that full flavor, then yes. All right, my tea is ready. Give it one more jiggle. Remove the tea bag. And then look at that color. It's stunning. It's just so clean, so bright, so delicious. One more mouthful. I don't have to have dinner now. Thanks, Dilhan. I'm glad I'm doing this. So again, what am I looking for? I've got smoky salmon. I've got the beautiful blini, but the garlic aioli has a crisp fattiness to it. And that fattiness will be cleansed and all the flavors will come out. And the flavor that will come out now, like I told you about the smoke drifting over the mountains, the smoke from the smoked fish will come out and be beautiful in here. I was right. Okay, last one. I've got 3 minutes. Look at that. This is a new invention of mine. These hatties from Sri Lanka, you'll know, it's the most beautiful earthenware pot. They serve curd in it. We cook curries in it. My aunties have them that are years and years old. I've got puff pastry. Again, I think you might be getting the gist here. I'm using fat and spice, richness and spice, and then herbs, spice and fat. And all of those are emulsified. It's a word that Dilhan used a lot, but it does, the tea helps to emulsify the food. So in here is a beef curry. Memories of my grandmother, my father's favorite curry, turned into a bit of a modern dish. Cracked open. Who wants some? The smell that comes out, you can see the beautiful flavors, mustard seeds, spices, all those Sri Lankan spices with a little bit of the pastry. That is my dinner tonight. Now that's got quite a bite to it because I like my curries hot. You don't have to, but again, the thing with beef curry and black tea and this premium Dilmah tea is incredible. Guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I've got a full feast in front of me. But last thing, the chocolate brownie. So, you know how they go. Here's one we prepared earlier. Exactly what I've done. Chocolate brownies infused with tea. Dilhan, would you like some?
I would,
Thank
Peter.
you.
That looks amazing. Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Peter. And you know, the thing about what Peter was saying in terms of how tea and food combine, tea has so many different personalities. So you can have a strongly brewed Dilmah Premium Ceylon, which gives you intensity. You can brew it for 6-7 minutes, or you can have a light one, 3 minutes. Well, it's medium. Or you can have a light one where you add a little bit of water. And each one is suitable for a different purpose because what the tea does is also boost the body in some cases. In the case of a green tea, you can use it in different forms. I mean, Peter, you know some of them, you know, the vinaigrettes and so on, the ash and so on. Maybe you want to share a few suggestions beyond what you did.
Sure. Well, Dilhan, as you said, I've done everything with them. One of the things I tried was actually putting tea into oil and then bringing it to 40 degrees centigrade and then putting it in the fridge for 10 days. And what happened was that all the chlorophyll came out of the tea and the oil turned green and had this amazing flavor and aroma of black tea. And that was incredible. Done some, crusting a smoked salmon. So rather than this salmon, because I wanted to pair it, but when I smoke and cure salmon, when you make the cure mix, you can mix it with sugar, salt, as you normally would, but then you can add some black tea, cure the fish, which dehydrates the fish, and then scrape it all off. And you will end up with a light hint of that amazing tea. So that's just two. It goes on and on. Try making a custard with it. Say with Earl Grey, an Earl Grey custard, put it into a profiterole. It's endless. I actually, Dilhan, I don't think I've ever counted how many recipes I've done for you, but I think they're in the thousands by now. And you know what? Your tea continues to inspire me, and I continue to come up with new dishes. So thank you. Keeps me active and enjoying what I do.
Thank you, Peter. So, incidentally, many of you are asking about the recipes. You know, the thing about Peter, when he starts talking about tea, you can't stop him. That's a good thing. So we couldn't show you the recipes, but come on to the Tea Club on Facebook, and they'll all be there. I think we gave you a quick glimpse, but we didn't want to miss out on the star of the show. So thank you for that, Peter. Peter, we're going to have to call it a wrap. We have a few announcements before on the medals and so on before we close. So, Peter, I want to thank you. You've been amazing and always fantastic. It's always the case. Thank you for your partnership. Thank you for encouraging all our viewers. This is a time we all need a little bit of encouragement, and food really does it. And the way you present it, it's beautiful. Thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you. So we have a question in this poll. We did have a question. Yes, Chef Peter's tea-infused brownie. Does it sound delicious? Would you definitely try it? Will you be using tea as an ingredient? Too difficult to make? Or you only like to pair tea with food and not use tea as an ingredient? Tell us what you think. Peter, I think you've definitely got a winner there, because the vast majority, 80% I think it is, sounds delicious. I will definitely try. Thank you, everyone. And so now on to the medal. Yes, this does count against your module 3. So once you complete episodes 7 to 9, you can claim your tea-inspired module 3 badge from the Dilmah School of Tea, endorsed by world chefs. We have a few interesting things coming up. So we have Alberto coming on for the next session on the 7th of October, and he is truly epic. So we're going to have epic homemade iced teas. Alberto coming to us all the way from Barcelona. We're going to be talking about how you can use tea to produce iced teas, alcoholic iced teas, and lots of good stuff. And, you know, we have a School of Tea favorite. She's a faculty member who is known as the Queen of Cheese. And so Tea Inspiration with the Queen of Cheese coming up in November. So thank you, everyone. I'm sorry we ran over time. Thank you for your questions. Thank you, Peter. And thank you to all our friends who've joined us. Stay safe, stay positive. Bye-bye.